Hello everyone, welcome back to Black Widow Fishing. I'm Bryce. So today we are back with round 3 of Mystery Tackle Box versus Monster Bass for the year 2023. And I know it's coming a little bit late at the towards the end of the month. If you've been watching the channel at all, we've been super busy pushing out new content, recording stuff, and tournament season started. Although the weather has been terrible here in California, so I haven't really participated in many just due to the weather. But hopefully, that'll be changing here in the next couple days to a week. I think we'll have a break in the weather. Finally, hopefully, maybe. And then we also have some boat tournaments coming up. So, without further ado, let's get into these 2 boxes for this month. And without already seeing them, I'm pretty sure that Monster Bass is going to take this one just because we know that it's going to be Z-Man products. But let's start with the Mystery Tackle Box. So, this month, it's actually not packaged too bad. We do have the little info card on top, but that's it. But otherwise, it's not packaged too terribly. So, we've got our info card there. Did you guys see that? Okay, the first thing we have is 13 fishing bubble butt. These are basically like stick bait worms. These are just in watermelon pumpkin color. Or, as they say on here, collard greens. Interesting choice. Then we have the pamphlet here. This month appears to have a fine word on the back. So next we have is the Z-Man Jackhammer Stealth Blade. And if you don't know what these are basically chatterbaits with plexiglass or like a plastic bill. So it's see-through, transparent, whatever you would like to call it. So this is actually a pretty decent bait. Pretty decent chatterbait too. The next one that we have is Zero Gravity Jig. This is more like it's not chartreuse, it's more like a yellow, orangish color. And these follow extremely slow. I believe they fall about 1 foot for every 3 seconds. I have a couple of these. The only thing that I don't like about them is the actual jig head itself. I found that I like more of a tungsten kind of jig head, where it's a little bit more dense and a smaller size. Sorry if you can hear the trash man outside. Where it's a little bit dense and a smaller size. These jig heads, they just feel really plasticky to me. And I'm not a big fan of that, but overall, these are decent. I have a couple of them. The next thing we have is the Emma. It's a lipless crankbait, and this is definitely from the Japanese market. I'll get it really close, and I'll kind of put these pictures up here. But looking at this lipless crank really close, this has like a camouflage pattern on there, but it's almost like the same color. With the pattern is actually done in like a little bit of flash. It's actually pretty interesting looking. And it looks like it has some decent hooks on there. Can't tell without taking it out, but we'll take it out when we do the photos. So that's decent. The next item in the box is the king of kings when it comes to frogs. The soft body frogs, and that is the Guggen Squad Filthy Frog. Now, I have a ton of these in basically all their colors, so much so that this one is going onto the wall. It's not even going to make it into the tackle yet. I love these frogs. I think they are built really well. They work phenomenally. And if you don't recall, last year, I caught a whomper with this one at the Delta. In case you forgot, here it is. Yeah, so these are definitely my favorite from Guggen Squad all around. I think they have some decent stuff, but their frogs I absolutely love, and I think they got them right. The next item is the K-Lens Tickle Series. This is the 3-inch Tickle Grub in white. I'm torn about this. I think in other locations, those will probably do really well. But at least out here in the waters that I fish, especially the lakes, and even the Delta to some extent, white is not my go-to color. I usually don't catch anything on white. So, I mean, I'll still give them a try, but not my favorite color. And then the next item in here is the Hoax Fishing Dominion series. And I believe these are going to be their... Just dropped the whole box. I believe these are going to be their... They look like 5 inches. I'm not exactly sure. Let's see if I can see the package. Package doesn't say, but I think these are 5 inches. And you just got your traditional watermelon pumpkin color. So you have those, and then we drop the box. So now the box is now empty. And then the next items that we have in here are the Guggen Squad hammer hooks. So you've got the 3/0 and the 4/0. 4/0 is fairly big. I usually don't go with a 4/0. I use spear point a lot, so I usually can go down a size, and that kind of just keeps the profile smaller, a lot easier to hook into the fish. But 4/0s work just depending upon your But 4/0s do work just depending upon your particular fishing style. But these hooks are good. They're offset. They're basically offset EWGs. So that allows you to get your soft plastic in that straight line, as straight as you can when you're trying to weed it, or when you're trying to rig this weedless. So that, and then we have something. And then we have an information guide about the Z-Man chatterbait. It gives you info there. And then on the back, it gives you 3 ways to retrieve it. I think that this is a pretty good inclusion in this box. I know that, chatterbaits were the rage even just a couple years ago, when they've kind of have quieted down for other types of bait, but chatterbaits are super effective. The problem is I don't think a lot of anglers actually know how to fish them properly. Or, there's no properly. There's several different ways you can fish. I think a lot of anglers just don't know how to do it. You want to work it just a little bit differently than your jig, but I recommend you read this. This is going to be great. And if you don't get the mystery tackle box, you can always go on to Shop Carl's website and pull the information and read it from there. This will be probably an invaluable tool to a lot of you. And then the last thing that we have is this month's sticker, and somebody either made a package in here or it's our lucky day because we've got 2 of them. This one is just a bass chasing what looks to be a blade, not even a crankbait. It looks like a blade. So that's all for Mystery Tackle Box. What I think of the box so far is I think it's a fairly decent box. It's not their best. It's not their worst. I am very happy with the Z-Man chatterbait, the stealth blade. Of course, the frog. I've already talked about this one. The frog is the jam. And then I'll be interested in giving the lipless a try. I'm really fascinated by the pattern on here. I think this is a phenomenal paint job. It does look very lifelike, but it adds that extra bling. Overall, 3 items out of the 8 items I think are fantastic. So overall, I think the box is very good. I think it's going to be a great value. You obviously save money every month with Mr. Tackle Box. If those were going to be things that you bought before, as we've kind of discussed in the past. So let's move on over to the Monsterbass box, which we know again is going to be Z-Man. So I'm pretty positive this is going to win over this one. I am personally not a Z-Man fanboy like there are a lot of people out there. I just think a bait's a bait, and there's some baits that I really like and there's some baits that I don't like. I'm just not like, oh my gosh, Z-Man's the best. That's not what I do. So let's open this box and see it. And to no surprise, the box is perfectly packed again. That is becoming one of the staples and one of my selling points for Monster Bass. And this will probably not be the last time I say it, but I just find it refreshing that they take the time to package their box nicely. Okay, and so of course we've got the Z-Man Takeover, which was no surprise. Everybody knew that was coming. Oh, and what do you know? We have another Z-Man Stealth Jackhammer. This one is in a white color, or as they say, color number 5, Spot Remover. Very interesting name for color. The other one that we had over here was in the black blue. So we've got 2 of them there. So that is a real nice ad right off the bat. And then the second one we have is the Big Blade Chatterbait. And I'm not going to say everything is Z-Man because we all know everything in here is Z-Man, so I'm just going to give you the name. So we've got the Big Blade Chatterbait. And for those of you who don't know about the Chatterbait, or like what's the big deal with Z-Man and Chatterbait, if I am not mistaken, and I'm pretty positive I'm correct, Z-Man was the one who made the original Chatterbait. The one with the silver, I guess you would call it the silver blade. The original Chatterbait is Z-Man's. And then I think everybody from there just kind of, copied and made blade and jigs or whatever they want to call. So Z-Man is the pioneer of the Chatterbait. Okay, and then we have the Finesse TDR. This is in the PB and J color. These are definitely going to be good for like a Ned rig. I wouldn't necessarily use these on a drop shot. I just don't think that the actual profile of them are fairly good. And if you are unfamiliar with Ned rig baits, you can typically tell when the ends are rounded and flat. It's basically designed so it can sit on that mushroom head or the Ned head and just kind of stand up like this off of the bottom. So that's how you can pretty much tell if they're made for Ned rigs. Okay, the next one is the Streak Z, and this is in the ice flavor. I have some of these already. They're basically just flukes. Basically they're flukes with like a slit in the bottom of them, to where you can rig it weedless if you have like a 4/0 hook. Coincidentally, you can stick it right in that slot, and then it doesn't have to go through all the plastic to hook into the fish when you set it. It just has to go through the back part of the bait, or it has to just go through the back part of the bait. So that's a good design. A lot of flukes are being made like that now, but you can't go wrong with flukes, especially in the spring. The next one that we have is the Pro Craw Z in the green pumpkin. I have tons of these. I use these mainly. I use these as jig trailers. However, if I'll put it close, the bottom part of the Pro Craw Zs are flat, just like that Ned profile that we talked about. So if you want a bigger Ned bait that sits on the bottom and has all these wavy arms to get the attention, usually when these bass are active, especially during the spawn and post-spawn, that'll work phenomenally for you. The next item that we have are the Pro Bullets weedless jig heads. So I've not actually seen these before, so I want to take a quick peek. These are a 1/4 ounce. So just briefly looking at it, it just looks like the design itself is weedless. You would put your bait on here, whether you wanted to run skirted or just soft plastic, and you would just fit, and you have a jig head, and you'd run the hook through the bait, out through the back, and then back up, and that would create your weedless portion there. Interesting. Haven't had those before, so I'll be interested to try those out. And then there's no surprise here. We have 1/0 Ned Z-Lock heads. And so what's special about these particular Ned heads is that they have a bait keeper on there. So once you slide your soft plastic up there, it has a little hook that'll grab onto the bait and keep it in place. So that way, if you get hung up or you're dragging along the bottom, you don't really have to worry about your bait coming off or having to reset it every time. You can just reel it in, give it a quick look, and cast it back out. Okay, so then we get back into the non-bait items here, and then of course we have our sticker, our little gearhead guy. We've gotten that one a couple times. And then this month, with a order of $20 or more, you get a free hat with your coupon. And so when it comes to these coupons, I've kind of briefly touched on it before, but with Monsterbass, they give you a coupon every single month. And so what I recommend to use these is, unless you're on a special promotion where you're getting, your 4th box free when you sign up, or you're getting 1 box free when you sign up for the 3-box subscription. Unless you're using something like that, I recommend that you do the monthly box subscription. That way, before the next month starts, you take your coupon that you receive in the previous month and you use it towards the purchase of that box. So you can always get something new. Or if you know you're going to get the box and there's something else that you want to get before then, you can buy it and then use your coupon for there. But what I typically do, like I said, is I use the previous month's coupon for the following month when I get my box subscription. So I usually do it about a week or two before the month is over, which is going to be right now because we're almost at the end of the month and this is the first time that I've opened the box. Out of the Z-Man box, if I were to rate what it is, I think it's a phenomenal box. I think you're going to save tons of money if you had done this one or if you do it before the month is over. When it comes to a particular bait out of this box, I can't say that there's any one that I'm more excited about than the other. I think they're all phenomenal in this box. And coincidentally, I actually think that the Z-Man Monsterbass box is going to win this month. However, I don't think that their win is just that great. I'm just giving that based upon the fact that there are several things in the box that I do like, I do use, and I think the box represents an overall very good value. There's nothing there that's like, oh my gosh, these are exciting. But with the Mystery Tackle box not being a Z-Man takeover box, I think they did fairly well this month. I think it was very smart to include the Stealth Jig in their box. That actually really brought up their level to me. Still, I would say, it's fairly close. I would say Monsterbass is right here this month, and Mystery Tackle box is right there. But either way, I think you can't go wrong with either box this month. So next month, I'm really looking forward to seeing what's going to be in the Monsterbass box. If you don't know, those are going to be the People's Choice. So we'll see how it turns out. But that's it for now. Catch you next time.